imagine this might be my last video for a while, as I'm officially on the run. I escaped Alcatraz this morning, or this afternoon, just about, but no, it's still this morning by the time I finished. Really cool, interesting triathlon. Recommend to anybody who's slightly masochistic. Is the light good in here? Oh, it's better. Yeah, got up at 4:30, which, for those who know me well, is normally the time I go to bed quite happily. Got on my bike and headed over to where it all kicked off. Laid out the transition stuff. Then we jumped on a bus. I met lots of interesting other triathletes who all had interesting stories to tell. And then we're on a boat, quite subdued atmosphere. I think what I'd read, it said there's like high energy adrenaline. It was more a lot of people wondering what on earth am I doing. The weather was great for the swim. There were dolphins swimming a couple hundred yards away from the boat as we went out towards Alcatraz. So then it all started, 7:30. The pro athletes dived off first. I mean, we didn't see anything from where we were. And then, like little lemmings, we crawled out of the main part of the ship and then jumped, I don't know, 4 or 5 foot down probably into the bay. It was really cold for me anyway. There's an Irish chap, Brian, I was chatting with before he got in, and I asked him if he brought his own bike, and he said he had, and I said, what about the wetsuit? And then I looked down at him and I realised he wasn't wearing a wetsuit. So complete nutter, Brian, if you're watching. But there were 1 or 2 out of about 2,000 who didn't bother with a wetsuit. Yeah, and we swam, and it got progressively colder as we crossed this river of basically frozen snow that was coming through under the Golden Gate Bridge. My goggles kept steaming up. They were perfect in Portugal for the try there, but today they were a nightmare. Literally every 5 minutes I couldn't really see anything. Yeah, it seemed to be going well. I was being a bit of a sheep and following the others, and all of a sudden, you know, so I couldn't really see much through the goggles. I kind of realised that we'd veered or been pushed quite far south, basically under the Golden Gate Bridge, that direction. So I finished my swim in about 50 minutes, but probably it should have been closer to 40. I just spent the last 15 minutes pretty much swimming upstream against the current to try and get to the beach and land. But anyway, I'd have taken 50 minutes, so that was all good. And then it was transition, so ripped the wetsuit off, put a pair of trainers on and ran about a kilometre, and then change shoes again, get my bike shoes on, get on the bike. So, you know, for me the whole thing had been about the swim. That was what Alcatraz is about. But mistaken. The bike was really tough. It was starting to warm up quite a lot by then, and San Francisco notoriously up and down. The worst bit, I think, was we were going downhill, all the kind of age group, the triathletes, and we saw the pros coming already on their way back in uphill, and it was just one of those roads like this. The guy on the bus this morning told me that it can be like 15-16% in parts, so we knew that was coming. So that was a bit of an ordeal, but generally went all right. So the bike, I think, was about 1 hour 20, which, you know, best case scenario for me could have been maybe 1 hour 15, but could have been a lot worse. And then a quick change. I think transition went pretty well, and out running. Was loving it. Obviously the swimmer sort of put me fairly far back generally, and the bike I managed to move forward a bit. But the run, the first 2 or 3 clicks, I just kept over. I pretty went, I don't know, past 50 or 100 people. And then we came to some steps, not the famous sand steps, but some like bonus steps. and suddenly I just cramped up, both legs, thighs, like everything just went at the same time. And I realised, although I'd been rehydrating on the bike, I probably hadn't taken off on enough salts. Sorry, Connell. Yeah, just made it to the top of that. Those steps, kind of had to walk up, and then somehow got going again. And the next stop, I just took as much Gatorade and electrolytes and stuff as they would give. And I found that I'd saved like half a kind of energy bar in my tri-suit. And I remembered it, and I started digging down. Only by now, obviously, it was covered in seawater and sweat, and pretty disgusting. But it tasted phenomenal at that point, and just gave me the energy to get back going again. Then we had the beach run, which was pretty tough, and the sand steps, which, you know, really just had to walk up. Nobody was running. Just too hard work. And then like a quite nice 3 or 4 clicks back in, mainly downhill or on the flat. Picked up a few more positions. I purposefully didn't say what time I was targeting, because it doesn't often work when I do try and say what I'm going to target. But really, best case scenario would have been 3:30, and I said yesterday to a few guys on the golf course, if I did under 4 hours, I'd be really happy. So I came in at 3:47, so I'm really chuffed with that. Glad to have done the swim, survived it. It was just 3 levels of survival. So thanks for all your support, everybody. Getting here, 5 months, 150 odd days. And now I can have a bit of a rest over the summer before Barcelona Triathlon, end of October, end of September. What else? Well, having arrived Wednesday night and just about overcome the jet lag, it's now time to go back to Europe and Africa. That's not going exactly according to plan, because I should be at San Francisco airport. You might see here, welcome to San Jose. So I got to San Fran airport probably about an hour and a half ago, and the lady at check-in started checking me in, and she said, got a little bit of bad news, overbooking. So we can put you on another flight, and I explained I got connection in London tomorrow early afternoon with Emirates, different airline. So we hummed and hard, and the best solution was an Uber here to San Jose. Thanks to BA for funding that, and I've got an upgrade all the way to Seychelles, so I'm flying a little bit later, take off in about 3 hours to Heathrow, and then now I'm flying Heathrow to Johannesburg, a few hours there, and then Joburg to Mahe. So I'm on my way home. I'm going to be a bit late, but at least I'm travelling in a bit of comfort, and I hope there's lots and lots of food. Love you all. See ya.